idealized, like, the American neighborhood. That's what it looked like to me. Just like a great place to live, where people, knew each other and were friendly. It's a great community. I think it's a classic American neighborhood. We took a walk there in September, beginning of the semester, with our coordinator, Barbara Bird. And we walked around the entire neighborhood, and people were out on their porches if they're around, or working on their cars or something like that. And everybody waved to her, and everybody, how you doing, Miss Bird, or how you doing, Barbara? Everybody knew her.
Probably for over 40 years.
40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any personal experiences that you can remember? I would highlight it. Go ahead.
Well, yes, as they say back in the day, people in the neighborhood, everybody knew one another. And if you were invited to a barbecue, you could certainly feel free to go. Even if you weren't invited, it was just more of a community type thing that they would have. And whoever had it, you were welcome to come in. New people coming in, and every 6 months, and you don't get to know them, they don't get to know you because they don't interact with the residency people. So what happens is they just come in and kind of run amok. Brought them in the week before, and I didn't even hear this happen. Somebody threw beer bottles over my fence, and when I'm telling you, it was like 2 huge shopping bags. I called the police because my grandkids went out to the swing set, and they said, "Wow, look at this!" And it was all these Coors, I guess it's lights with the lime in it or whatever. Broken bottles, regular bottles, empty bottles, just
Really?
Filled my yard. Whether it was or wasn't, the fact is that's the first time that had ever happened. I mean, you can't mow your lawn with broken glass, and my little ones were picking it up and bringing it in, thinking this is really cool. We have a collection here, and I'm telling you, it had to be like 50 bottles. It wasn't just like one drunk person throwing a bottle. Yeah, that was the worst. The yard was covered once I went out there, and so I didn't even hear it. But in a residential neighborhood such as this, where people are raising little children and all, it's kind of dangerous. I've had to report, as have many neighbors, people speeding up and down the street.
But historically, they're college students, they're renters, they throw parties, and people come, and there's a lot of cars.
They're dropping off 6 kids at one time, and the kids are half dressed, and they're going next door. I happen to live at the bottom of where there's a concentration of houses. There's 6 houses here. I'm not one usually to call the police, but if it gets out of hand, I saw a fight one time and I kind of felt bad for the kids, so I called the cop because he was out there I think it was snowing or something when I called, and he had no clothes on his chest or anything, and a bunch of kids were beating him up.
College students who like to party and living amidst people who have to go to work every day, and have families and want the noise level down by 9 o'clock or something like that. So so the noise level, and sometimes the trash, and sometimes the amount of people. I know, like I said, just to be clear, historically has been a problem there. I don't know that it's necessarily a problem this year or last year, but I suspect that it's always going to be a source of potential tension. You've got college students who like to party and living amidst people who have to go to work every day, and have families and want the noise level down by 9 o'clock or something like that. So what can we do to help? I think just by continue to engage with them, and that might change on a semester or yearly basis what we do for them. But I think the best thing to do is just ask them. That's how we came up with this project. I said, Barbara, what do you think the community needs or wants? And she suggested this project. Help with some of these things that many of the older residents could do for themselves. That's what we do.